The weekend price action literally played out to a T as we explained on our last video. But in this video, I'm going to go over whether the FOMC interest rate cut is going to potentially affect the market in a positive way or a negative way, how I plan on trading this. If you took a long on last week's video expecting a pump over the weekend, well, you got the good result, currently sitting at 94K. But should you cut some of that position just as a risk off approach? What altcoins could really take a surge if we see a good reaction to FOMC? We have a lot to cover and we're going to go over it quickly in this video, not waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Before we get started, guys, be sure to drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more. Every single week here on In the Game, we have you covered with everything you need to have an edge in the crypto markets. As well, a big shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. Today, I want to give a big shout to 𝗧𝗏𝗧. I think 𝗧𝗏𝗧 is one of the top perp dexes in the space that really doesn't get enough shine. If you are looking for a decentralized perp dex to take trades on any given day, you can long short over 100 pairs right here on 𝗧𝗏𝗧. And on top of that, they have an airdrop campaign going on. And I think it could be very comparable to previous perp dex airdrops that we have seen, similar to maybe an Aster, which happened just a few months back. So check out 𝗧𝗏𝗧 down below in the description. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it, guys. We got that weekend pump that we were looking for. Last week in our last crypto video, we talked about how if you just looked at the charts, right? And when we broke this down, every single week for the last 3 weeks, the volume dies over the weekend, picks back up, we see a pump, dies at the end of the week, and picks back up at the beginning of the week. It was a very simple and almost it felt like elementary when we were just looking at the charts and saying, okay, well, if this is happening every week, a little bit of a manipulation pump is what it feels like to start each week, and then a dump to wash out the leverage at the end of the week. Well, if you took that trade, this is looking very nice. We're sitting at 93,600 currently on the live charts. The one thing that is happening, though, is altcoins really aren't affected. If we just filter by the daily here, we see Echelon Prime up 20%. We see GPU up 20%. We also see tokens like 𝗘𝗃𝗏 up 16%, 𝗓𝗏𝗃𝗏 Pengu is up 14%, 𝗪𝗏𝗚 up 11% over the daily. But for the most part, not a lot is happening in the altcoin sector, and we'll talk about why that is and what levels we need to break through, or at least we need to pump through certain timeline events to be able to see altcoins make major moves. And then altcoins, I'd be looking for trades if the market looks strong after FOMC, and we are looking at a percentage chance for Federal Reserve to cut interest rates by 25 BPS. So that is the favorite here on prediction markets. And also we see, 21 Capital CEO Jack Mallers is saying, hey, we're going to buy as much Bitcoin as humanly possible, right? And that's the goal of a lot of these treasury companies. We saw Saylor make a big buy to start this week, which kind of eliminates the potential FUD around them being upside down on their balance sheet. We see CZ saying crypto could enter a super cycle by 2026, which could be powered by US politics, Fed easing, and also rate cuts. If we see money printing, that's going to be very bullish for risk on assets, pardon me. And on top of that, if the Trump stimulus actually happens, I mean, that's going to be a huge catalyst for the markets at the same time. We also see here that Bernstein says that the 4-year cycle is dead, and I'm kind of believing the same thing. With the amount of institutional interest that's in the space now, I think the 4-year cycle is kind of off track. Not to mention we had a government shutdown during the peak of the 4-year cycle. But on top of that, I just think that there is consistent money flow, consistent interest, kind of like the stock market now. The S&P has basically been in a bull market for who knows how long. If you look at that chart, it looks like an endless bull run. And it kind of feels like Bitcoin could be getting to that trajectory. And Bernstein thinks that 115K 2026, 200K by 2027, and $1 million per Bitcoin by 2033, which is what leads me to my first point of every time Bitcoin offers you an opportunity to DCA cheap, you should be doing it. As easy, and once again, as I said earlier in the show, as elementary as that advice could sound, it's probably the one thing that people don't do in the space. They want to catch altcoins or meme coins that do 100x and retire their families overnight. But for the most part, that's not going to happen. I mean, you have to be terminally glued to the markets to catch something like that. Even whenever Trump coin happened, which we have an update on some Trump developments here later in the show to do with crypto gaming. It's crazy to see what's going on in that space. But on top of that, like even Trump coin, if you weren't online for that 12-hour time period, you really missed the majority of that trade. In Aster, if you weren't tuned in for that like 3-day time period where it went from 20 cents to $2, you kind of missed that trade at that point in time. So it's really hard to catch those once in a lifetime trades. But the one thing you can guarantee, in my opinion, is that Bitcoin's going to be here in 5-10 years. So the most elementary advice is set up a strategy to buy Bitcoin whenever it dips. Nobody's going to really tell you that on crypto YouTube because they're going to, really want to push altcoins and that's the opportunity. But what we've been seeing right now is altcoin suppression. Right? There's so many altcoins in the market. And as Miles tweeted here, these are the types of alts that get the big runs on stuff like this. Scam pumps on Terra, Terra Luna Classic, UST, which is ridiculous to see like the Luna ecosystem running during this time period. But that is just the market climate that we're in with the altcoin dilution. It's hard for certain alts to really pick up that momentum. You only see a few altcoins in the entire market up double-digit percents over the course of this week. But what could be the one thing we need to watch out for? So obviously the big elephant in the room this week is FOMC. And it is likely that we get rate cuts, which I think is going to be very bullish, especially longer term. But you need to watch the immediate price action. So let's just say circumstance number one, you have longs open going into FOMC. Maybe you took the strategy from last week's video. I think it was on Friday. Maybe you took that and you ran with it. Maybe you longed into the weekend and now you're sitting up on that long because we're sitting at 93K at this point in time. And we were looking to take that position. We were sitting right around, that would have been like the 6th that video came out. So right around this level here, around 89. So, a leverage long should be sitting pretty nicely at this point in time. What I'd be doing, I would cut some of the fat off that position, aka take some profit. You could maybe leave some of it open if you're willing to have that risk, but take some profit on that long because right away, if the 25 basis point cut comes through, that's expectation. That's not above expectation. So the market's definitely pricing in that we're going to get a rate cut tomorrow during FOMC. Now, we could see a little bit of a sell-off to start, but I really do think over the course of the next 22 days to end out 2025, I think we could see a pretty strong finish to the year. So what I'd be doing, I would cut some of the fat, cut some of your profits on a long, if you're long currently, into FOMC. I would not be surprised to see us take a dip immediately on pullback during that, but afterwards is where I'd be looking to take potential longs again on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Hyperliquid, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, really strong coins in their niches. That's what I'd be looking to long after FOMC if the setup presents itself. So obviously going into tomorrow, even like an hour or two before, I might expect a little bit of a sell-off. It's kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Every time we have these interest rate meetings, we might see an immediate dip during Powell's speech, especially once he announces that cut. But from there, if we take a pullback, I think it's a beautiful opportunity to take some small leverage longs on some great altcoins. And also, if you see alts take a hit from a little bit of a pullback, that's a good time to DCA your favorite coins. For me, stuff like Hyperliquid or Solana or stuff like Tau, like I mentioned earlier in this video. So that's kind of my strategy going into this. Like I said, if you are leverage long, that is a good time to take some profits, let the volatility play out, and then you could reassess your position after that. But if we get a pullback, I'm going to put in various longs on some altcoins as well as Bitcoin. So that's my strategy going into the Powell FOMC meeting. And then a little bit of news across the space. We see 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which has been partnering up recently with Hyperliquid. And as you can see here, this is built on Hyperliquid. So 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is now building out Proper. Proper is an upcoming perps DEX from the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 team. And obviously they're backed by Swissborg. So this is awesome. I mean, Swissborg is one of the biggest investment platforms in all of Europe. I think that this is going to be massive, and this launches at the beginning of 2026. So I think that they're definitely cooking here. And to me, this all looks to giving value and buybacks back into the 𝗡𝗏𝗅g token. That is not confirmed, but they are really going heavy on buybacks. If you watch the 𝗡𝗏𝗅g video we had with Lou, the founder of 𝗡𝗏𝗅g, you can see how much they're leaning in to value accrual on the 𝗡𝗏𝗅g token. We also see the football.fun team teasing the TGE around the corner. If you have been playing football.fun, it is a soccer and American football fantasy sports on-chain game currently. You can go check out your fun score, and to me, this is going to factor into your upcoming airdrop. They're also doing a pre-sale on the Kraken and Legion platform, so very bullish for people who have been playing around with football.fun. And on top of that, crypto gaming. Let's just quickly talk. Right now, I think today, it hasn't come out yet, so I can't really say, but there's going to be an announcement of a closure of a game that was really hyped, and it's really unfortunate to see where crypto gaming is now versus the potential it had a couple years ago. I do still think that we're going to see a turn in the tides eventually. People start to integrate Web3 correctly. I think gaming tokens are eternally cooked. It's really hard to maintain the value prop on a gaming token that has so much sell pressure inside of an ecosystem. But I am hearing rumblings that today, about an hour from when I'm recording this, that there's going to be a shutdown announcement in the crypto gaming space, and this has just become a common occurrence. And on the same day that this is supposed to happen, we see, actually, let me pull this up really quickly. We see Donald Trump and the Trump mobile game coming to open loot. So the people who made big time are now inheriting this Trump game. Oh, how far we have fallen. And they posted it like it's a bullish announcement. I don't think this is what we meant when we said crypto gaming is inevitable. But as we can see here, let's just click into this. I think it's $1 million of Trump coin up for grabs in this game. Join the wait list for a chance for $1 million in Trump coin rewards at the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 automated casino slot lottery advertisement. I don't know. This is what crypto gaming is in 2025 right now. So hopefully we see a big turn of events. I think Galaxia, Planet X, I think they have a really good roadmap in front of them. I still think that Off the Grid is a fantastic game, but maybe more suited for Web 2 than Web 3. Unfortunate, but this is what's happening in the crypto gaming space right now. It is interesting to say the least. And then also, our next prediction market stream will be in the next couple of days, either Wednesday or Thursday. And look, prediction markets offer an opportunity for any size of, portfolio or bankroll. You can take trades and flip. This guy flipped $12 into $30,000 by predicting 11 straight short-term Bitcoin moves. So the guy started with $12. As you can see here. And he basically flipped up, doubled down almost every single trade, and flipped his account into $30,000 over the course of, what was that? That would be 18 days. So pretty crazy potential going on in the prediction market space, which leads me to my last point here. Guys, if you aren't already signed up on 𝗘𝗟𝗅, 𝗘𝗟𝗅 right now, #1 on the App Store. They're crushing every metric. They have the most volume of any prediction market in the entire space. Check out 𝗘𝗟𝗅 down below in the description. You can deposit and trade $10, and they will give you $10 absolutely free. There is no limits to the size. You can start scaling up your account with as little as $5, $10, $20, $100, and I can guarantee you it's one of those things. You find an edge in a political, mention market, sports, culture, entertainment. It's one of those things that really can give you something to trade and potentially make profits during time periods where the crypto market is a little uneasy. So guys, check out 𝗘𝗟𝗅 down below in the description, and we'll see you on the next video. As always, like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Play well, my friends, stay bullish, and of course, trade responsibly, my friends.